Good evening, everyone. It's Charles with the Dispatching One-on-One Training for Beginners, which features Freight Broker One-on-One. It's been a while since I've been on the YouTube live, so I figure I'll show my face a little bit and come with some general Q&A. Let me put up some information here. Freight Broker One-on-One Q&A live. Come on into the party. Ask your freight broker questions. Give you a few minutes to come in, say how you doing, long time. How's it going? Introduce yourself, who you are. I see a ton of people in here now coming in. Smash the thumbs up. Smash the thumbs up. Q&A. So if you have any general Q&A questions, I can provide some feedback to you from a freight broker uh, beginner levels perspective. So what do you guys have? What information do you need answered that you feel that's hindering you, or you need clarity on um, from a freight broker's perspective? Right? What do we have? We have 5 participants in so far. Come on in. All right. Freight broker one-on-one training for beginners. Logistics providers, those who are in the industry as a freight broker, someone who has their broker license, who has a bond, who has things of that nature. So, Kushal Kalbanda, thank you, sir, for what you do. If you have a question, shoot your question out. Let's see what you have. Hello, everyone. Learning a lot. Okay, have you, Kushal, have you applied for your broker license, your broker authority, your bond? Have you done that? And then hello, Junica Baptiste. If I mispronounce your name, I apologize. I don't want to butcher anyone's name. So, but questions. I come in for a minute. It's been a while. I'm going to start coming in on a little bit more regularly for those of you who are not enrolled into our Freight Broker One-on-One Training for Beginners course. I'll come in and talk to you who are subscribers to the YouTube channel and answer your questions on the channel, right? So, not yet. I am working as an agent. Okay, so you're as an agent under someone's authority, under someone's broker authority. So, Alfred Ofer, hi. I find it hard to get truckers to sign up. To sign up with your brokerage, as a brokerage, it's hard for you to get them onboarded. Alfred, what kind of customers do you have? What are you presenting to the carriers, to the truckers, in order to motivate them to want to sign up? Do you have good paying loads? Do you have good lanes? Are your rates good? Right? What extra services are you offering as a brokerage if you are in fact doing that? Where are you in your process? Okay, so then it's hard. So if I'm a truck driver, or put yourself in the eyes of a truck driver, if you're a new broker and you come to me and say, "Hey, I want you to come on to my brokerage." Well, what do you got? What are you offering? Right? Well, I don't have any customers yet. Well, then what would you think they're going to do? Right? So, how can I make my first call? Don't tell what I should say, just how I need to talk. So you present yourself. That's Benitez, Nardell Benitez. Uh, you present yourself as either a logistics provider, someone who arranges for the transportation and movement of the loads. So, all right, and then you ask them what lanes they run. Before you even do that with the call, you want to do some research on the company, on the customers that you're going to call. You want to have some information, some ammunition in front of you about that customer. You don't want to go in blind, right? You want to know a little bit about the company. So when you call, you sound like you've done your research and your homework on them, right? So then you present yourself. You say, well, what lanes are you running? I notice you guys are doing reefers, or I know you guys are doing dry vans or flatbeds. What lanes do you concentrate in? What zones or what regions of the country? The Midwest, Southeast, Southwest, wherever you're running. What are your difficult lanes? We have some capacity. We can help you solve those problems. So, Baptiste said, I need to know how I can put all the package together. Can you refer me to someone to do the website? So, yes, we have resources in our training. We have different individuals who my web development team. My website is hosted by Wix, and I have a Wix development team that I have on my staff that I hire that does my web design. Now there is a little pricey because I have a lot of dynamic things going on with the website. It depends on what you need for the site, but you could still reach out to them. I can post their. Let's see. You go onto the website under ELLC services, partners, and affiliates. I think they're here on my website. Yeah, Wix development team. So let me copy that. And the guy's name is Dave. As for Dave, he's the owner actually of the company. So, okay. Let them know that Charles from Exodus referred you to them, right? And then they'll give you like a 20-minute consultation free to see what you're looking to do, and then to kind of get an idea where you're heading to see if they can put a designed website in that same path. So, hello, I'm Tammy, just getting into the business, leaving nursing of 30 years. Wow. Well, thank you for your service in nursing, Tammy. I'm I'm doing paperwork now for a freight broker. I'm in Los Angeles. Can you touch on the AB5 and how does it affect the brokerage? Um, AB5 is more affecting the trucking side than the brokerage. What AB5 is, what Tammy is referring to is they're trying to get the owner operators, the individual owner operators with their own authority and DOT and MC to work as employees on a W 2 as opposed to a 1099 because that state is trying to get that tax money from the carriers. Most truckers, they wait to do their taxes at the end of the year, but if you're a W 2 employee, you're locked in as far as doing your taxes sooner. So that's one reason behind AB5. Another reason is more so control, and it's kind of sad. It's been going on for a long time as far as the state of California. It's very odd over there in that state. So many micro regulations over there. But AB5 has been introduced years ago. It's just now passing. My concern is if it's going to trickle down to other states, other secondary states like New York, some of the bigger states that could be affected by it. So, but we'll keep an eye on it. Okay, but it's not affecting the brokerage side is fine. As a broker, you still need a carrier, whether they are a company driver on a W-2 or whether they're an independent contractor on a 1099. It's apples and oranges as it relates to the broker side. It's more affecting the carrier, right? So, there is any place where I can find a shippers list with phone numbers or emails. Yes, we have some in our portal, in our training portal. There's a lot of people who sell online shippers lists, but you have to be careful of those. They're outdated and stale. Or just Google. Google. There's some free sites you can Google local manufacturers and warehouses, distributors, shippers in your area, and there's a national Chamber of Commerce database you can get connected with to look up shippers. You don't have to purchase one from anyone. you can do it for free, and then you just do your research, right? So we try to keep your, especially as a new broker, we try to keep your overhead costs low, right? So that's what we want to do, right? So, hello, I want to start dispatching, but I don't know where to start. What advice can you give me? So this is a freight broker YouTube channel. We have a dispatcher YouTube channel as well, Mimi. So we can have that conversation as well. But I can give you the link for the dispatching side of our site, so you can take a look at that and decide um, what you want to do there. But this is a freight broker YouTube channel. But there, for you, Mimi, you can reach out to me to have that dispatcher question answered, asked and answered. We have a very extensive, detailed dispatcher one-on-one training for beginners program that you can um, call and ask about and inquire about with us. But again, this is a great broker YouTube channel. So we mainly are talking about the broker side. Hey, LaDonna, how are you? Putting my email as well, Exodus Logistics LLC at yahoo.com. So, what was the other question? I end up getting Victor said I end up getting my authority for carrier and broker, same DOT, but different MC. That's weird. Everything is done on both sides except for the activation. So what are you waiting on to activate your authority side? Is it BOC3? Is it the bond? Is it the UCR? It's something that's waiting for activation. Or is it waiting for them to process all that information with the FMCSA, and the FMCSA just says, okay, you meet all of our requirements, you're active, and then go to the FMCSA site, look your information up, and see where you stand. Do we need to have lawyer and notarize the agreement paperwork? Ms. Baptiste asked that question in regards to the technically you don't, but it'd be good for you to get a lawyer to look at it. Notarizing the broker shipper carrier broker carrier agreement and broker shipper agreements. It doesn't need to be notarized, but it can be looked at by a lawyer just to make sure that the contract is a legally binding one. So, okay. I don't know, but let's see. Benitez said, I don't know, but maybe I don't get it so much information by Google. That is why I'm asking. Okay, got it. So it's just a general contract. You can look at templates online. In our Freight Broker 101, if you are an ongoing member, if you are a subscriber on here now and you are enrolled in our Freight Broker 101 training, we have all the information, the templates, the documents that you would need to kind of springboard you and guide you into how to formulate. We have brokers on here who've taken those documents and templates and started their brokerages, and they're moving along. So, Victor Diaz, my wife and business partner got cold feet, which caused me to stall. We need mentoring. Okay. As a freight broker, you need to start mentoring. So you haven't started the process, Victor Diaz, I'm assuming. Moving down the line here, as a new broker, Baptiste says, as a new broker, what we need to say and how to talk to the carriers when negotiating the load, what percentage should we charge them? So you're not charging the carriers a percentage. What you make your money from, Ms. Baptiste, is when you get a shipper to give you their loads, to tender you their loads, you are taking your percentage or your margins off of the tender. So for example, if a shipper gives you like 10 loads a week, $5,000 a load, the going rates of percentages or margins, 15 to 20%, right? Just low end stuff. You got brokers who may charge more because of the value of the goods and the volume of loads they get. But starting out typically is about 15 to 20%. So you say, let's say 20%. 20% of $5,000, that's about $1,000, right? 20 times 5,000, 20%, that's $1,000. So that's your margin. So 4,000 is left. So when you post a load on the load board, you're not going to post it for 4,000. Of course, you're going to post it for a little bit less. Let's say 3,800, 3,750, because now you want to give yourself on the carrier side a little wiggle room. You still have that $1,000 margin, right? Or you could be less. You could do 10%. If you just come into the game, you want to be fair. The more money you give to the carrier, the better the relationship you will have with the carrier, and the longer the relationship you will have with the carrier, ultimately leading to a longer relationship with the customer. Because the carrier is moving your loads, the customer is satisfied that their loads are getting moved from their shipping facility to their customer, who is the receiver. So it's a circular relationship, and it starts with how you prepare your numbers. How do you come into the industry, right? You don't want to get too greedy, right? The carrier is the catalyst for this whole relationship, because without the carrier, without the person who's transporting the freight, nothing gets accomplished, right? So you want to be, and it's sad these days that the carriers are perceived or looked at on the totem pole as the lowest, right? They get the worst treatment. Brokers are taking money, pulling more money from the shippers and giving less to the carriers than what should be done, right? So as a broker, you want to be fair to the carrier. You want to find a balance, right? You want to pay the carriers a well rate, make you a decent margin to earn a living, and then satisfy your customers to continue that process, because the money is coming from the customer. You're just leveraging that money from the customer and making your money in that process and giving the majority of it to the carriers. Okay. So, let's see. Do you have to get contingent insurance No, you don't. You can keep your contingent cargo. Depends on the customer. If the customer has commodities that you're going to be shipping for them or brokering for them that is very valuable, right? You want the cargo, so the contingent cargo exceeds the value of the contingent or the cargo insurance of the carrier, which is typically $100,000. Then you might be, and if you want that customer and you want those volume loads from that customer, then you may want to entertain, at least consider contingent cargo, right? CCI, contingent cargo insurance, which is a layer on top of the carrier's cargo. So what the carrier doesn't cover, contingent comes in and mitigates and makes up for. Okay. Lee T says, I have broker authority. Congratulations. Congratulations on Lee T, broker authority, active broker authority. Where are you based, Lee T? And do you have a customer yet? Those are the two questions that I usually ask when people tell me that they have an authority. They've gotten their broker authority, broker license, and then where are you based? And do you have a customer? So if you can type that in the chat, that would be helpful. And for those of you who are in here, some 18, I see 3 thumbs up. If you haven't clicked the thumbs up, go ahead and click the thumbs up. Like the live we're having right now with the brief Q&A here. Okay. Yeah, Lee T, where are you based out of as far as your brokerage, and do you have any customers yet? If you don't mind putting that in there. Victor Diaz says, I'm a driver. My wife used to be a dispatcher. She needs more mentoring because us making move gave her COVID. Oh, okay, I see. And I'm always watching your videos religiously. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Hopefully it's helping you. You consider joining on the broker side or the dispatching side, Victor Diaz. Just reach out to us. Give us a call. We can see where we can help. Miss High Frequency, I need the training. I know what I'm talking about. My ex is retired truck driver. Okay. He's not trying to tell me anything. You know how that go. Okay. My friend tell me about you where there's a way. Okay, yes. Yeah, so yeah, consider contacting us, and on the Miss High Frequency, consider contacting us as far as getting involved in our trainings. Tammy, I'm gonna refer to you as Tammy. I scroll back up in the notes. Your name is Tammy, not Miss High Frequency. It's all right. and you've coming from nursing. So because just because you're in California, you don't have to broker in California. There are brokers who live in California but have customers all over the country. You don't have to, just because you are. That's a good question too. Some people may ask, well, I live in California. Can I only have my broker authority and deal with customers in California? Of course not. There are customers all over the country. So you could broker and contract with customers all over the country as long as you can provide capacity or trucks or assets to that customer. It's irrelevant where they're located, right? Matter of fact, it'd be wise to find customers in areas of the country or zones or states that have a high volume of inbound and outbound freight. That should be your first starting point when you're looking for customers. You want to see where the freight is flowing freely, the type of commodities, the equipment types that they can go on. These are things that you would consider as an entrepreneur, right? So, great advice. Will the live stay up to take notes? Yeah, this is going to be a public. This one's going to be public. These YouTube lives are always going to be public, so you guys can go back and watch on the channel. What a good factor company to use. We have a factoring company, Seven Oaks. I can paste Monica's information, which I'm doing now, into the chat here for you guys to have. And just like with the website per contact person, just let Monica know that Charles from Exodus referred you guys to her, and she'll take it from there. So, okay. Factoring company. Let's see what factoring company to use. I don't have a customer yet, but where should I start it? Because always hard to stay on drive-in. So depends on where you're located, right? The area of the country and the type of commodities. If you have a niche or a niche, I don't know how to pronounce that word, but you want to focus on that. So it depends on where you are. You say, okay, well, there's a lot of this is over there, a lot of that is over here. So you can determine what type of shipper. You can Google shippers, manufacturers in your area, National Chamber of Commerce website. You can look at McGrath's Blue Book, Thomas Net, Hunter IO. These are different resources that you can look for shippers under. You can purchase customer lists, but again, you run the risk of those lists being stale. In other words, outdated information, right? So I would caution you there to be careful, but there's so much free information out here, though. I mean, so you want, and as a new broker, you want to keep your overhead kind of low, right? Starting out, if you don't have the budget, then it's, you want to establish the foundation. So, okay, all we need is the BMC 84 and insurance, then we'll be active. Okay, so you need a bond. So the BMC 84 is the surety bond form that the bond company files with the FMCSA, saying that this brokerage has met all the requirements to have a secure $75,000 bond. So you have to find, I'm assuming, this is Victor Diaz, I'm assuming you're shopping for different bond companies to consider, right? The bond company and insurance. So the bond is the insurance on the broker side, the minimum required insurance, $75,000. It used to be 10 back in the Obama administration. MAP 21, MAP, moving ahead for progress in the 21st century, kind of increased that requirement from 10,000 to 75,000. So, all right. But good luck to you, Victor. I'm assuming you have some bond companies that you're researching, looking for as far as rates, because they're gonna, the BMC 84, which is the surety bond form. You have the BMC 85, which is trust fund too. That's also a form of a bond, but they're gonna look at your personal credit to kind of determine what your annual premium for that $75,000 bond coverage will be. And the better your credit score and other factors, the lower your bond annual cost. I've seen it as low as $750 to have for the year. You pay it once a year. There's no month-to-month thing. You pay one time for the year. You have that coverage. I've seen it as low as $750 for the year for a $75,000 bond. So, okay. All right. It seems like I've gotten to the bottom of the list of questions. All right. We've been over here 25 minutes. Okay. So that's a short. Okay. Here's another one. Is $100,000 coverage better for new authority? Coverage for the insurance cargo or the bond coverage? The more coverage you have, the more coverage you have, the better. But the minimum that you get in, if you have the budget just to get the minimum to get you started, that's fine. You can always increase, right? If you're referring to the bond, but if you're referring to cargo coverage, like $100,000 for contingent cargo, then of course that's also fine too. The more you show skin in the game as a broker to a potential customer, whether it's insurance, contingent, whatever, or an increased bond rate premium or rate coverage, the better. The more skin in the game you show to a potential customer, they're saying, okay, in addition to me having capacity and those carriers having coverage to cover your freight while it's being transported, Mr. Shipper, Mr. Customer, I too, as a brokerage, have additional coverage in case their coverage does not substantiate or cover. So that's how that works. Checking my message here while I'm waiting on your questions. So, any other questions? Thank you. You're welcome. May I join one of your trainings before signing? I thought that name looked familiar, Felicia McLean. I thought you have come into one of the Zoom trainings. So, but yeah, you could come in to one of the Zoom trainings. I could put the link actually for the freight broker. You can look at our freight broker Zoom training schedule. We have live trainings every second and fourth week of each month. Our next one won't be until in August, I believe. Check the calendar. I just put the link there. August 9th, Tuesdays. They're Tuesdays and Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern. So, okay. And answering questions. This is me all day, honestly. I missed it. She says 10 to 20%. Baptiste, what is that? 10 to 20%. Is that your margin as a freight broker? That's what you're going to be charging? 10 to 20%. I would say 15 to 20%. But 10 is fine if you just got your first shipper. They're not giving you a lot of, a shipper is going to test you, right? They may not open up the floodgates of loads for you starting out, but they may give you 4 to 5 at the most just to test you, just to see if you can accomplish moving their freight effectively and efficiently through the workflow, through the process of brokering, tendering the load, if you will, from BOL to all the way through POD and everything in between that process. So, right? 17 people in here, 18 people in here, 7 thumbs up. I need some more thumbs up if you guys don't mind, just to give this channel some life again. It's been a while since I've been in here. I've been kind of busy on the back end, but in my off live Zoom training weeks, I'll probably come in to do YouTube lives on the Freight Broker YouTube channels and on the Dispatcher YouTube channels. So for those of you who are, all of you are subscribed, because otherwise you wouldn't be on here, right? So, I'll do Q&A. I'll discuss what we had discussed in our live Zoom trainings for the members. And then I will rehash it there to see where you guys are. So, all right. Anything else? I try to separate the carrier with the broker. Reason for the two MCs. Did I make a mistake? So typically, If you're going to have a carrier authority and a broker authority, it's probably good to have two separate entities because you don't want to let one mess the other up if they're under the same entities as a DBA, right? If you, let's say you had a freight ABC logistics company and you had DBA ABC dispatching under that same entity, and then DBA ABC freight brokerage under the same entity. Because once you do a DBA, it's under the same entity, right? So if something goes wrong, the whole entity is affected. But if you separate them, right, then everything, there's a protection there. Okay, so try to keep it separate. That'll be good. Okay, Lee T said they're in Texas, so that's cool. Texas is a good area to broker. You can broker out of the Houston market. You can deal with the ports. You can be a customs broker with the ports if you want to deal with the Houston market over there. You can go up to Dallas market, Dallas Fort Worth. Texas is huge, it's the largest state in the union. So you could start, you have a hodgepodge, golden corral, smorgasbord of shippers over there. So I would get started if I were you, you know. Texas, but no customers yet. This past Friday, they started their authority. Okay. What load board, Batiste said, should we start using as a new broker? Depends on your budget. I'll do this. I'll give you the three load boards. 123 load board, the premium version. Truck Stop Pro, or anything that has ITS dispatch on it, or the TMS system, or an onboarding feature as part of the load board subscription, and the load board, of course. And then DAT, like DAT Power, right? So those are the top three. So whatever your budget dictates that you can afford to get as a broker, to make sure that you have the ability to look up rates, that you have the ability to post loads, search for loads, post trucks, and search for trucks as a broker. Those are the base features of a load board that you should have as a broker. So whatever minimal budget that will give you those four base features, then that's the load board that you should start with. You can always upgrade and scale later on, especially when you get a customer and you're starting to generate revenue to substantiate covering the cost of your scalability. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Baptiste says, Miss Frequency, I recommend my surety company. Okay. What's the name of your surety company, if you don't mind putting that in the chat? And then also, hello, I'm trying to become a freight broker. Which site or program will help start my career? Well, you're on this channel, this YouTube channel, Freight Broker 101 for beginners. We have an ongoing training portal that we offer freight broker training for. So you can consider us. You don't have to go with us, but since you're here, we might as well promote, right? So since you're subscribed to the channel, I'm sure you're doing your due diligence. Who asked that question? Kiambra C. Brooks. I'm sure you're doing your due diligence with different broker trainers and coming up. Hopefully, you want to call the person, ask those questions before you consider purchasing anything from anyone, right? Whether it's me or whoever, right? I would advise, it doesn't have to go with us. I don't, I'm not trying to press anyone to join our program, but what I would advise is, if you do decide on a trainer, you want to make sure that you're able to contact them and speak to them and get your questions answered before you spend your hard-earned money signing up for a program, because this is an investment, right? So let's see what other questions. If all three parties have factoring, how does that work for payment distribution? So you're saying in most cases the shippers won't deal with factoring because they can care less. They're going to pay you whenever they pay you. They have a net 60, net 45, net 30-day payout, right? Those are shippers. They don't need factoring. They can care less. If you agree to move our freight, then you agree to our payment terms. It's up to the broker to get a factor so they can get paid sooner, so that they can pay the carriers sooner. And then carriers will have factoring so they can get paid soon as well through the factoring company. So everybody's leveraging factoring companies to get their money. Factoring companies give you an upfront monies and then put the rest in reserve and then get the monies from whoever they're dealing with, whoever their clients are doing business with. So most factoring companies' clients are the brokers and the carriers. I don't see a shipper mainly having factoring, but because they don't need it, right? So, what are the requirements to become a broker? Well, you need a broker license or a broker apply for a broker authority. Before you even do that, you want to get a business license, become, naming your company, logistics, freight brokerage, whatever you want to call yourself, business license, LLC, EIN, on the back end. Then you apply for a broker license or a broker authority. You go to the fmcsa.dot.gov website /registration. You fill out the online form. It's called the OP1. You have to register with the URS Uniform Registration System. And to set up your account, then you go in there and fill out it's a one-time $300 non-refundable process fee to apply for either a motor carrier or a freight broker authority. And I'm answering this question for Bianca Moody and others who are listening in as well. But specifically, she typed it in the chat. Apply for your broker license or broker authority. In the process, they're going to give you up to 90 days to finish the other requirements before your authority becomes active. What are the other requirements? You need a bond, right? $75,000 bond. That form is filed with the FMCSA by a bond company, either a form BMC 84, which is the surety bond, or the form BMC 85, which is the trust fund. The bond company, not the applicant, but the bond company has to file the form with the FMCSA. File that form saying, hey, you've met the requirements. On to the next step. You need a BOC3, which is a designation of a process agent. The companies file, you can be your own process agent in your domicile state, but typically most new brokers have one company which have representatives in all 50 states to be their process agent company. And that company files the form BOC-3, designation of process agent, with the FMCSA saying, hey, this person has met the requirements to have a process agent. This is our company. Next, a UCR. The applicant filed their own UCR, UCR.gov. Typically for brokers, it's between 0 to 2 trucks. You'll understand what I'm saying when you get to that point on the form, because they're going to ask you how many assets. Most brokers are non-asset based, so that's why it's 0 to 2 trucks. And then other little supplemental things, but those are the minimal requirements for a freight broker. Okay, and then you get up to 90 days to do that. There is a protest period in there, 10 days in that 90-day time frame, where someone can protest the fact that you are applying to be a broker. It's there for a reason, but it usually never gets challenged, right? Unless someone who is really adamant about saying that you don't qualify to be a broker, which I wonder why, but it is what it is. So, but yeah, hopefully that helped. Dumb questions are the ones not asked, right? Yeah, this is their name, PFA Transportation. Oh yeah, I've heard of PFA. PFA is Pacific Financial. That's who they are, Miss Baptiste. So that's a good company to consider. Look them up. Do your research. So any company that you want to look up and do research on, whether someone told you they're good or not, you still want to do your due diligence, because what's good for one person may not be good for another. But look them up and make sure you're satisfied before you decide with Pacific Financial to go with their services. Do we need to apply for DUNS to build business credit? If you are building business credit, doing stuff related to that, and you're pursuing business credit for potentially getting a loan and things like that, then you need a DUNS number and things like that. Start that process. LaDonna, who I believe is still on here, she has within our platform, she has a supplemental business credit beginners study group where they go over the different tiers of business credit from a very basic and formal perspective. So, okay. So yeah, I need to add people as a moderator. We add LaDonna as a moderator. There you go, LaDonna. I just figured it out. LaDonna is a moderator now. So yeah, what's the next question? Do we need to apply for the? Okay, you answer that. That company does the BOC3 for you as well. Okay, cool. So they offer, some companies do, some third-party companies offer package deals to apply for a broker authority, right? A lot of this stuff you can do yourself if you know how to do it. You just got to know the steps so you can save yourself on some costs. But if it's affordable for you to get a third-party company to do a package deal for you to apply for your broker authority, and you have the budget for it, who am I to stand in the way of that? So, what else? Kevin, the joke he said, great seeing you, Charles. I'm still cold calling, no shipper yet, but I'm hopeful. Okay, good for you. Keep cold calling. You gotta. So, in anything in life, you got to put the work in, right? It'll show up sooner or later, but you just got to put the work in. Should we activate our numbers before signing up with you just so we can have access to the TMS and load boards while getting mentored? Not necessarily. You don't have to, Victor, but you can for your own personal edification, your own TMS, your own load boards. You certainly can. But to be in our trainings, you don't have to activate your numbers. But if you're ready to activate your numbers, then certainly activate your numbers, right? So, okay. All right, so we got Miss LaDonna in here as a moderator. All right, so we are coming up on 42 minutes. Every time I come in here, I look at the time, it flies like that. So are we good on basic level freight broker questions, packet types, the process? I got 15 thumbs up, 22 participants. So some of you haven't pushed your thumb up yet, but that's fine. That's fine. 15 out of 22 is not bad. So, okay. So, we good? We good? Just want to make sure we're good before I get off. So I got another thumbs up. Good. Another 16th thumbs up. Great. We good on the basic Q&A? All right. This is an off week as far as live Zoom trainings for me. So I figure I'll show my face. I'll probably show my face tomorrow on the dispatcher side. I know we have more dispatchers members enrolled in the trainings than we do freight broker members, which is fine. We will get to a point where it's balanced at some point. I do want to announce that Truck Stop, we're starting the process to partner with Truck Stop. So we're going to offer that service to the broker side. Batiste, I asked a question. What's your question? That company does the BOC3 for you as well. Do we need to apply for DUNS? So your question was about the DUNS number. I said yes. What was your other question, Miss Baptiste? What is the core of LTL that makes it different from FTL? LTL has a lot of classifications and categories. So you have weight, stackability, number of pallets, things like that. With FTL, full LTL is less than truckload. FTL is full truckload. If you're going to get a shipper that has LTL freight, you would have to educate yourself on the different classifications of LTL, and it gets deep. If I were you, as a broker, anyone, I would start with FTL, full truckload. So, how do you go by getting credit score as a broker? So your credit score builds as you move freight with carriers and they report your information on. There's days to pay reporting features on load boards, things of that nature. Credit scores is built up. There's different areas and ways to do that. Okay. Makisha said, hey, Makisha, dispatch Zoom on Monday, 8/1. That is so our regular Zoom dispatching will not be on Monday, Makisha. It will be for the regular ongoing students. Our next Zoom will be August 7th, that Sunday. So Monday the 1st, I may do a YouTube dispatch, a live YouTube just to do Q&A, but that's just for the YouTube subscribers. It's not for the ongoing members. Now, some of you who are members of the ongoing training and subscribers to the YouTube channel, if I come on tomorrow or sometime during next week to do a live YouTube Q&A, then that'll be for the YouTube channel subscribers. What TMS should we use? So first of all, let's define what a TMS is for those of you who may not know. TMS is a transportation management software, or transportation management service, however you want to look at it. Combination of a CRM, customer relationship management, and a CMS, content management software, right? What it does is it keeps track of your customers, your assets, carriers, your accounts receivables, account payable. It does everything in one centralized location. QuickBooks does that as well, but this is for the transportation industry specifically, right? There are different TMS systems out there. Ascend is a good one. That's a good one. It's low end, low budget, out of the box. It's designed for brokers and shippers. You can customize the fields to your specific brokerage, but out of the box, it's a standard TMS system, right? Ascend, Load Manager, eFreight Solutions, Aljex, Axis. There's different TMS systems. There's one in the load. DAT has a TMS system. TruckStop has a built-in TMS system. So you can get it integrated with your load board package also. Onboarding, TMS, and load board in the DAT family or the TruckStop family. So it depends on what your budget is and how much you're willing to pay for that. Okay, but starting off, keeping your overhead low, I would say start with Ascend, the premium version. You have a basic and then you have a premium. I would say get the premium version because the basic is not going to offer you everything you need as a starting freight broker. So yeah. Okay. We'll be good. Coming up on 47 minutes. We're moving quickly. Yep. So answering the question here. What else we got? I still got the last question. Okay, so we're good. We're good. We're good. Okay, people are coming down. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you for your time. I know it's late Sunday at 9:45, 20 minutes to 10. I usually try not to get on here too late, but do I need to choose a niche that is available in the city I live in? Yes, you can consider that, or you can just see if the city you live in, you can see what are the commodities or what are the shippers and manufacturers, what are they shipping and manufacturing in that particular location. And I can give you an idea what's popular, what's the high volume of inbound and outbound freight. What is that? You do an overall lookup of your region and see what's popular over there. You may be in the Midwest, like corn and farmland materials and goods, commodities. So you want to definitely do that. That'll put you at an advantage. That way you don't be wasting your time. Now, if you don't have a niche, getting a shipper period will be good also because you have a chance to generate revenue. But if you have a niche, or a niche, however you pronounce it, you can specialize in that and master that and begin to find those commodities all over the country because you understood it when you first got in. Now you can develop it wherever that particular niche is located in the country. And then make sure you got shippers who are paying good tenders for that particular niche. Okay. Hopefully that helped. Good luck to all of you guys who are aspiring to be freight brokers. And salute you all. For those of you who are ongoing members, thank you for your time and thank you for being a part of the ongoing training platform. I'm gonna put my merch store link up here to support the merch. We are having a merch, Products of Exodus Logistics Learning Center, ELLC. Take a look at the site. Tell me what you think. Add to the product line, add different phrases. I'm also entertaining, for those of you who may be familiar with merch and promoting and branding and funneling traffic to merchandise stores. Reach out to me. We may be able to do a partnership. Okay. Until next time, salute you guys with both hands, actually, and talk to you later. Thank you.